Well, good morning, everybody. This is Charles Owen from Paladin. Welcome to the Paladin University. Today, we're going to be discussing Paladin's enhanced statement features, which will be guaranteed to simplify your life. So we'll get started in a moment. Just to let you know, as far as time frame goes, we're probably talking not very long. I would think 15 minutes on the outside for this presentation, so we should get through it pretty rapidly. And it will be recorded, so if you miss any part of it, you can re-download it and watch it at any time on the Paladin portal, paladinpos.com website. And any questions that you might have, let's save those to the end. I'll go ahead and answer those in the end. So let's go ahead and get started here. So what you're going to learn today is, how is this different? How is this statement feature that we're rolling out different? This is something very important for our customers. It's very beneficial. We're going to talk about the benefits, how to set it up, how it works. We're also going to talk about time frame. When is it going to be activated for my store? I need to know, and how much does it cost, and then where to find more information. So those are the topics that we'll be discussing today, beginning with how is it different? So how statements are different today is the system will automatically produce the statements overnight. That's different, right? When you run statements now, you run statements, the statements get ran and processed and printed all at the same time. This will run it overnight. So all you'll need to do is come in the morning and print those at your leisure or email those. So the statement generation process has been completely separated from the printing process, which will help reduce any potential printing problems. So that's how it's different, guys, and that's really all there is to it, but there's more. Let's look at some of the benefits. So obviously it's going to be faster, right, because it's going to print overnight, and in the morning all you have to do is either print them or email them. It's going to be more predictable, so there's not going to be a chance of the printouts messing up and having to reverse statements or any of that. Statements will always have been run. Now all you're doing is printing or emailing those again. So it eliminates those potential printer problems completely. This update also gives you the ability to print in either alphabetical order by customer, that's been being asked for quite some time, and or by account number by customer. So now if you have projects or jobs that you have in separate accounts, you can batch those statements together by doing the statement run in alphabetical order. Very cool. How do you set it up? Well, guess what? There is no setup required by anybody in the store. This just happens automatically. When you get a new update, the enable automatic statement generation checkbox is automatically checked, and the under file setup receivables tab will be activated when the new update is released to the store. When it is released and you receive the update, you can choose a statement date for it to run, or it will use the last run date. And then also, what you're going to see every time you go to the reports module, it's going to be a little bit annoying for you, but it goes away immediately after you put in your password. But this will happen for those that are going in and running reports and or statements. It's going to explain what's new with statements. Everybody needs to know. It's not one of those things that we're going to sweep under the rugs, because it's going to change your life, hopefully making it a lot better. So there will be a message that appears, says major monthly statements enhancement, and you can read all about it. It's going to tell you basically what I'm telling you. At the very bottom, there's a couple of links. One will give you detailed write-up KBA or knowledge base article, and the other will be a copy of this webinar. And that's it. You enter your password, it goes away forever, so never to come back again. So that's our way of notifying the customers what's going on. So how does it work? So the beauty of it is, it runs automatically at the end of the month or on a specified day of the month that you determine. When you're ready to print and email the statements, all you do is you go to the same place you go now, reports module, select accounts receivables, statements, and month-end statements. A little different screen pops up. Instead of it showing you all the things that it does, and all you do is put in a a date and your initials, basically what happens is it gives you the opportunity to print and or email statements. So you can print only statements, you can email only statements, you can print and email at the same time if you want to. You can also, if you are going back to run statements because a few of the emails didn't run properly, you can include statements that haven't been emailed. And then you can also just print all statements. Now, when it comes down to emailing, you can go ahead and email statements as well. You select that radio button. And to the right of both print and email is some red lettering. On the print, it says how many statements are available for printing. And next to the email, it says how many statements are available for emailing. So it tells you in advance. And if there were any errors on the email in the statements, it'll give you an option to go into the error log and see that. And we're going to see that on the next screen. But before I move on, notice also down below it says print and email order, numeric or alphabetic. So you can choose either by account number or by customer name. In addition, you can select a batch run of customers beginning with an account number and ending with an account number. And then it will just print it. Now, if, like I'd mentioned, if emails fail, let's jump to the next screen here. It will bring up on the report settings pane, it will show the exceptions, and you can click view to see a list of which emails failed, and you're sent to this screen which says unsent email messages, or it is under the unsent statement email window. You have an option at this point to go in and repair and update all the emails and then resend them again, or if you like, you can elect to execute the print all button. So notice on the top left in the circle you have email all, on the right you have print all. So these are your options. So it will notify you if these emails were not sent correctly, if it was an invalid email address or failed to reach the email server, or if it's just an email server error. Any of those, it will identify the particular accounts and then you can resend those. All right, so when will it be activated in my store? Well, currently it's out in the alpha profile. That is, the alpha profile is 5226.1. It will be moving to beta soon. And again, you don't have to do anything. It'll just be released to your particular region, which kind of push it out across the United States, beginning with our time zone and move on to the East Coast. And multi-store accounts are planned for phase 2 following the single store rollout. So you will be able to participate in this as well. And that'll just be in a little bit future date here. This is probably going to take place over the next few months as far as rolling this release out, but stay tuned, you will see it, and now you're informed. So what about the accounting summary report? That is a snapshot in time report. So what we do is when you generate the statements, we automatically create at that time an account summary report, and we store it under the recall reports area of the reporting section. So if you go to the reports module and you click on recall reports, you'll be able to see the actual accounting summary report that you printed at the time the statements ran. If you run one afterwards, again, since it's a snapshot in time report, it may be a little bit different. So you want to make sure that your stored reports are storing properly. Do confirm that. If you have any questions, contact Paladin support. You just need some sort of a network drive to place those reports on so everybody can have access to them, or all those with permissions anyway. And once you go into recall reports, you'll see the report that you need. It'll have a date, the type of report it is. It'll have the title, account summary report, and then you just produce that to a PDF, and from there, print it or read it. So how much does this cost? Well, good news is it is included with your Paladin subscription, like most software enhancements to Paladin. So it does not cost you anything. It will just roll out. And again, this is a convenience for you to lessen and reduce the amount of problems with printouts. by separating that statement run process from the actual printing process itself. It's a lot more reliable and a lot faster as well. So where are you finding more information about this? Well, you've came to the right spot because you're listening to the information right now. This same webinar will be available to you both on that pop-up screen when you first get this software update that asks you for your password so you can remove it. It's on that screen, as well as when you go into the reports module and look at your month-end statements, it will also be on here circled in red on the screen. And then obviously if you go to portal.paladinpos.com or select the help button on the edit menu in Paladin, you have an opportunity to see the same information, both the KBA or knowledge base article as well as the webinar presentation in the help portal. So all of that's there for you. Our next webinar is on Paladin best practices, and we're going to be focusing on the EDI reports. Why it's important, folks, to run an EDI, a post-EDI report. It's just chock full of all kinds of information that you may need to act on. So if you're not generating your EDI reports and or if you're generating them to PDF, I would recommend you switch that to Excel workbooks. And it takes every category of change that happened and puts it in those workbooks. So we'll be talking more about that on Wednesday, July 6th at 9 a.m. As I mentioned, I said I would wait for questions and answer any questions at the end. I don't see any at this point. So, or actually, I stand corrected. I do see one. If the month ends on the 30th or the 28th, like in February, do statements automatically run on that day? That is a very good question. I was wondering the same thing. I think if you set it as the end of the month, like the 31st, and the month end prior to that, my guess is yes, it's going to be produced on the 30th or the 28th in the case of, June or February or something like that. So I'm going to stand by that right now. I think it would be interesting if it didn't do that. I mean, what just wouldn't run? Doesn't make sense. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, that is the only question I believe I see. It is, and it was a great question. Thank you very much for asking that. And as always, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar. We have all kinds of information in the webinar portal under portal.paladinpos.com. There's a whole slew of like close to 200, I would imagine, webinars, as well as knowledge-based articles that you can do kind of self-help things. And we have a whole new series of training videos for those of you who are new to Paladin, and those cashiers that are new. You can go there, you can at your leisure, you can go home and watch them. Just go to portal.paladinpos.com, select on training videos, and they're about a 1 to 2 minute long. Very, very simple and easy to watch. Again, as always, we have Retail Science you can reach out to, where we syndicate various articles on how you can improve your store operations, as well as our store, which you can shop at and buy any of your supplies that you need. We've got some good resources for supplies, great prices, and then we also sell hardware, computers, scanners, you name it, we got it. So looking forward to working with you again in the future. Thank you again for attending. Since I don't see any more questions, I'm going to sign off. So thank you, everybody. Until next time, God bless. Take care and be safe. Bye-bye.